In this episode of Coffee Break Photography, there are some new reasons to buy into the Canon RF mirrorless system. Hi, my name is Rich Dyson from Edinburgh Photography Workshop, and this is Coffee Break Photography. My journey with Canon cameras began with my very first DSLR, the 350D, and continues to this day with the Canon R5 and R6. I was initially drawn to Canon when a salesperson bundled the 350D body with an 18-55mm kit lens and a 70-30mm zoom lens made by Sigma. Third-party lenses are a cheap way for beginners to extend their lens kit. Back in the early 2000s, they weren't quite as good as their manufacturing equivalents, but they were certainly good enough for most amateurs. When Canon launched its RF mirrorless system, it made a conscious but unofficial decision not to allow any third-party lens maker to produce lenses for the system. I know from chatting with attendees at my switch to manual workshop that camera shops have actively discouraged people from buying the Canon RF system because they could only buy more expensive lenses made by Canon. Well, that has officially changed today. Sigma and Tamron have announced that they will launch lenses for the Canon RF range later this year. Tamron has only announced one lens, which will only work on cropped sensor cameras such as the Canon R50 and R100, perfect for newbies to photography. Hold your breath with the name of this lens. The Tamron 11-20mm f2.8 di3 ARXD features a wide open aperture of f2.8 throughout the zoom. It weighs 335 grams and has a minimum object distance of just 15 centimeters at the 11mm end of the zoom and 24 centimeters when zoomed to 20mm. There's no pricing information on the Tamron website, but you can expect to pay somewhere around £700 to £800, which is what the current Sony and Fuji versions retail for at WEX. The press release from Sigma is even more exciting. 6 cameras have been announced, with the first hitting the shops in July of this year. Again, all these lenses have been built for cropped sensor cameras, showing that the demand for these cheaper lenses is at the entry-level market. The first lens we'll see for the RF system from Sigma is the 18-50mm f2.8 DCDN, and assuming its price is the same as the Sony and Fuji versions, it'll be around £479. It will be ultralight at just 290 grams and can focus as close as 12 centimeters from the subject. Coming later in the autumn will be a further 5 lenses. An ultra-wide 10-18mm f2.8 lens will complement the 18-50 for landscape beginners. And we'll also see the introduction of 4 prime lenses with a large aperture of f1.4. There will be 16, 23, 30 and 56mm added to the range, which will all be between £300 and £500 each, depending on the lens. It's great news that we're finally seeing the introduction of third-party options for the Canon RF system. It'll be even better to see the addition of some full-frame options, which I'm sure are on the way. Sigma lenses in particular have proven to be excellent quality, with some of them beating their manufacturer-made equivalents in tests. However, just because the lenses are designed for cropped sensor cameras, it doesn't mean that full-frame users can't take advantage. The RF mount on an RFS lens is identical to that on all RF lenses, and RFS lenses are compatible with all EOS R system cameras. However, when fitted with an RFS lens, full-frame EOS R system cameras will automatically crop the image area to match the APS-C coverage of the lens. For example, this means that the 16mm lens on a full-frame camera will look like it has been shot on a 26mm lens. There will also be an impact on the bokeh or blurriness behind the subject. Don't expect to see the same shallowness of depth of field if using these lenses. the 1.4 aperture on a full frame camera will look more like it has been shot with a 4.5 aperture. So buyer, be aware, you won't get the optics of a fast lens by investing in these new third-party lenses and using them on a full frame camera. This is a very welcome addition to the Canon RF range of lenses, but it's only just a start. The second lens most beginners buy is a long zoom lens, and at the moment that purchase will still need to be a Canon lens. Their 70 to 300mm lens retails at just under £750. That's a lot of cash for someone who has just spent nearly £1,000 on a camera and lens. A third-party equivalent might come in closer to £500, so it would be great to see a longer zoom next in the queue of lenses from Sigma and Tamron. While we're talking about Canon RF cameras and lenses, put a note in your diary for the third week in May. Canon Rumours is sure there'll be a new camera launch. It will likely be the upgrade to the camera I use, the R5, and it also looks like there will be a development announcement on the much rumoured R1 Sports and News camera. I'm looking forward to sharing my views that week. Make sure you see my Copy Break photography videos by clicking on the subscribe button in this corner. I would also appreciate it if you could like and share this video by clicking below. Whenever I get an interaction from you, it means that YouTube will show my content to a few more people. My name is Rich Dyson, and this has been an Espresso Coffee Break Photography. See you next time.